Hello everyone, this is Mumbo and welcome back to another Minecraft video, and in this one we're going to take a look at something really quite useful. Today we're going to be building an automated redstone shop. Now the idea behind this one really is quite simple. The player will come along, they will place their payment inside a chest that will drop down into the system will decide if it is the correct payment, and if it is, then it will send the items back up onto the surface for the player to pick up. Now this seems like quite a simple circuit, but there's a whole bunch of different things going on in there that should be really interesting to take a look through. Now of course, if you're building a shop, you need to have a shop front, something that tells other players that this actually is a place that you want to go to buy various different things. So this is what I've created. Now as you can see, I mean, yeah, it's pretty tiny. It's a pretty tiny little shop. There's nothing too modern going on here. And of course, you can do whatever you really want with this thing. You could build a massive shopping mall if you really wanted to, but I thought I'd start things off with a really simple little design. So as you can see, we have got some spruce wood logs going around the bottom. We've got some spruce wood underneath these cobblestone stairs and stone bricks in the center right there, with pressure plates on top of all of these just to give it a slightly cleaner look, because I personally don't particularly like the way that thing looks. Then we have fence posts going up to the top, fence posts all around the back, and then we have stone slabs sort of slanting their way up like this. Kind of looks like an old-fashioned market stall, which is exactly the sort of style that I was going for. But anyway, out the back here you can see we've got this chest, and this chest is where the player is going to be placing in their payments. They will place their payment inside that chest, it will be taken in by this hopper, and then the item will actually come up through the floor. Which actually brings me on to my next point. You may be sat there thinking, why don't you just have like a dropper in the floor that has all the items in it and then it automatically drops out the items? Well, of course, that will expose all of the items. A player could just come along, right click on the dropper and take a whole bunch of them if they really wanted to. So what we're going to do is we're going to build a slightly more secure system in which we can enclose all of the redstone inside obsidian. So as you can see, under this little thing right here, I have punched out a rather large area. This place is 6 blocks tall, it is 7 blocks across, and it is 10 blocks long. So this is a pretty massive space, but that does leave us some wiggle room so that we can actually move around here without sort of running into all the walls or having to break any redstone circuits or anything like that. So to get things started, what we're going to do is we're going to go underneath the hopper, which is underneath this chest right here, which of course is going to be taking out all of our payments, and we're going to be placing in a dropper that is going to be facing downwards. Now from there we're going to be placing a whole bunch of obsidian, which may sound a little bit strange, but as I said earlier on, I want to add in a slight extra layer of security, and if we surround all of the goods and all of the redstone in obsidian, then that is probably going to deter players or breaking in there and trying to steal anything. But anyway, we're going to take a comparator output from this dropper right here, and that is going to be running out into a block. And then out the back here, we're going to have some redstone dust. We're going to have another block right there, and then a repeater with redstone running into the side of that comparator. Then on this side, we're just going to have some redstone dust, a repeater, and then a block. Now what that means is that we've now got an auto-firing dropper system. So if you head underneath here and place in a hopper, then add in some extra obsidian around here, if we place an item on the inside of this thing, as you can see, it will get automatically dropped out. It will go through this obsidian and down into this hopper. Now the item that the player is paying for is going to be popping up through the ground right on this block right here. So we're just going to head down underneath. You want to locate that block once again. You want to place a block right here and then a dropper facing upwards. Now earlier on there was a hopper in this location. We're actually going to be breaking that one and we're going to be placing it going across like this. Now what that means is that if the player places in a payment that isn't accepted by the system, then it will go straight into this hopper and then across like this into this dropper and be refunded back to them, which I would say is quite a friendly thing to do. I'd say that's quite a nice thing. But anyway, we're going to pop down underneath here and place a couple blocks going across like this, 2 hoppers going across like that, and then we want a chest down at the bottom right here. Now this is where all of the legitimate payments are going to be going and where they're going to be stored. Time to get the redstone out once again, because we're going to be building a little item filter. Now this design is going to be super simple and absolutely tiny, so we're just going to have redstone going across like this, then we're going to have a redstone torch right there, a block down at the bottom here, and then some redstone dust. There it is, that is your item filter. Now we're actually going to be taking the output from this thing as well, running that up into a block with a redstone torch right there, and then facing in this direction, we're going to have ourselves a hopper. Now this dropper is going to contain all of the items that you want to sell. So when the correct payment travels through the system right here, we'll get an output through into this redstone torch, which will then power this dropper, sending the item that you are selling through into this dropper, which will then be sent upwards through the floor. Now, the way that we're sending the item upwards through the floor is going to be using an item elevator. So once again, we need to create an auto dropping system. And the way that we do that is by placing blocks in like this, some redstone dust up at the top, a block on top of this comparator right here, which will actually be powering that dropper. And then we're going to have a block out the back right here, some redstone dust right there with a block on top just like that. Then we want a block up like this, a repeater facing in this direction, and then some redstone dust right there. And that is everything completed. So far you've got a system that allows a player to pay one item to receive one item. So all you have to do is go down to this hopper down at the bottom here with the comparator running out of it, and then you can place what you want as the payment on the inside. So I want to have diamond blocks as my payment, so I'm going to drag them across like that. Then I'm going to put the rest of them in the first slot, and it should drop down to 18 with a whole bunch there. So now this will only accept diamond blocks. Then in this dropper right here, I'm going to place the item what the player is paying for. So I'm going to have stone slabs, for example. They're paying a lot of diamonds for a single stone slab there. So now it is 1 diamond block for 1 single stone slab. But now that all of that is done, all we have to do is fill in these blocks up at the top here. Now you need to make sure that you have a full 3x3 area there, and also you need to fill in all of these blocks as well. Now the reason that we have to do that is because this dropper is going to be sending out the items up through those blocks, and it has to be a 3x3 area, otherwise they'll travel out all over the place. But now we're going to surround this entire thing in obsidian, so we're going to have obsidian around here, and just going all the way around the entire build, covering up pretty much everything. And you will have something that looks a little bit like this. Now obviously I've left the sides hollow so you can see all of the redstone circuitry, but this should give you a rough idea of what's going on. And if we pop up to the top and place our payment on the inside of this chest, we can see that it drops down into the system, and then there we go. Our stone slab has appeared. Our extremely expensive stone slab. But say for example, we were to place in an item that isn't accepted by the system, for example this iron block, as you can see, it should just get refunded back to us. But what if, for example, you want a system that will give you more items per amount paid? So say for example, you put in 1 diamond block into the system and you want a handful of stone slabs, or perhaps half a stack. Well, then you're going to have to do a tiny bit more redstone work. So you're going to have to break this redstone torch and this block down at the bottom here. We're going to take the redstone torch output from this thing. We're going to be running that out with a repeater into this block down at the bottom here. Now for this first one, I'm going to show you how to just get a small number of items through the system, and that is going to be using a pulse extender. So we're going to have some redstone going across like this. We're going to have a comparator running in this direction, a comparator running in this direction with a block out the back there, some redstone dust right here. Then we're going to have to head on round to the other side to place in a repeater that is facing in this direction, and that is going to be going out into a block, which once again we're going to have to head out over to the other side, and then we're going to place in our comparator, which is going to run redstone around like this, and we have to run the output from that redstone clock up into the side of this block right here. Next we have to set this repeater to 4 ticks, and also set this comparator into subtract mode, and that should be everything. So if we were to simulate a stair right here by putting a diamond block into this dropper, then as you can see we get a whole bunch of redstone action occurring, and we get a bunch of stone slabs dropped up into the top right there. So right now I have got 64 in my inventory, and if we stand on the inside here, we get ourselves 16. A nice quarter stack. If you wanted a few more items to be dispensed, then all you'd have to do is knock out all of these comparators right here, take out that block and also this redstone, and we're going to run the comparators facing in this direction this time, and also the comparators facing in this direction. Then we're going to have our block right here, and then we are going to take a repeater output directly from that block and run it straight into that comparator. So now we have a slightly longer comparator pulse extender, which should in the end give us more items. So once again, we're going to simulate a sail right here. We're going to place a diamond block on the inside of that dropper. That should send it through. And as you can see, we have got a whole ton of redstone action occurring right there. If we pop up to the top, we will have a bunch of stone slabs in this area, and we should have around about 30. Well, 28, close enough. Now, of course, there are different techniques that you can use. You can have different redstone clocks and different numbers of items, and I'll let you guys experiment with those, because if I were to do every single number of items, I'll probably be here all day. But that is all of the redstone circuitry for the multiple item payment system, and of course, you can cover up all of this stuff using your obsidian and make sure that everything is enclosed on the inside there. But there we have it, guys. There is your redstone shop all done and dusted. Now we can just cover up this area right here, make sure that nobody can see all of the redstone, and every player that pops along here should have a seamless shopping experience. But unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, that is all I've got time for today. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please be sure to hit that like button, and if you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.